Hello, entrepreneurs, dreamers, business owners, and happy people with high hopes. Welcome to Cashflows with your host, Cash Matthews.
All right, Mr. Kenneth, we are back here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome. How's your day?
Hey, so far so good.
All right, man. We are here for another dose of cash flows. So there's no time like the present to do something magnificent. We're going to get on with our show. I'm Cash Matthews. This is our show, Cash Flows. And cash flows means a couple things. It means money. It's like got a money tone to it. There we go.
It is.
And but it also is me yapping my mouth. And so like this is more of the yapping style variety. And our topics are various things, Kenneth, that make your life better. Things like love and relationships and money and business and entrepreneurship. But we also answer some of the bigger questions in life. Like, should I put ketchup on my hot dogs?
Or relish.
Or relish. I relish the opportunity to put ketchup on my hot dogs.
There it is.
Yes, okay. I have a horse named Mayo, and he neighs. Mayo neighs.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry. We don't start our podcast over, but we probably should at that point. Anyway, we're here at Cash Flows to maybe make your life a little bit better. So we have a lot of dad jokes that rule. We have a lot of cool sounds that we play, and we just want to explore some of these topics that make your life a little bit better. And so I am here today with my co-conspirator in life, Mr. Kenneth Bockham. Kenneth, welcome to Cash Flows.
Thank you.
And the great question of the day is, what's a guy like you doing in a nice place like this?
You know, I actually didn't even realize we were doing a podcast today. I just kind of walked in. I was going around the office here at Elevate Coworking doing a survey. Pirates or ninjas? Which would you pick?
Oh, totally ninjas.
Okay.
There's 3 in the room with us.
Ninjas.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, well, good. So I can just update that and move on then. That was just what I was doing.
All right, please add me to the ninja list.
Awesome.
All right, very cool. All righty, so our show, Cash Flows, is here to help you consider making this your philosophy, which is fire, aim, ready, and you'll go far with fire, aim, ready. Did you get that acronym I just made up?
Oh, yeah, that's
FAR?
nice.
Yeah, I've been working on acronyms. Been working on what we call TLAs. You know what those are? 3-letter acronyms.
Oh, wow.
And then also working on some FLAs. You know what those are?
No.
4-letter acronyms.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
I'm with you.
I think we're making progress here on the show.
How do you tell the difference between a 4-letter acronym and a 5-letter acronym?
By their hair color.
Oh.
I have no idea. You tell me.
I don't know either.
TLA, FLA. Well, most of your FLAs are in Florida.
That's also true.
I don't know. Let's get on with the show
We should
here.
probably get back to
We
the
have
show.
a guest who's flown in from Europe to be
That's
here
right.
today, and we want to make sure. And boy, are her arms tired.
A European swallow or an African swallow?
Don't start. We have work to do here.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, it is my pleasure to introduce to Cash Flows today, Miss Camri Landkamer. Mrs. Okay, my apologies. We don't get any do-overs here, so you get what you get with us. Well, so Camri, first, all my life people picked on my name. Is your name really Cash? Tell us about the name Camri.
Oh man, I've always been named Camri, so
Not a car thing. People don't give you grief about it.
they do. I get called Toyota a lot. That's
Oh,
like my
okay.
unofficial nickname.
All right, so
Um,
we've got a clever name here. That's pretty cool. And now you and I met at the Tulsa Business Owners Networking Group, the B.O.N.G,
Yes.
as it's called.
Yes.
And we would love to get your feedback on that. And what's that been like for you? And
Yeah.
I know you've met a lot of people, and I know that you had a big event here the other night that was absolutely full of people. Just tell us, take a minute or two, and tell us about your B.O.N.G experience.
Yeah. The B.O.N.G has been awesome. Before I joined it, I thought that networking was, here, have my business card. Here, let me sell you some things, and I'm going to buy this stuff from you. And it just didn't sound very fun. And when I found the B.O.N.G, it was like, oh, this can be fun. Like you can
Yeah.
meet people and get to know them, and you don't have to give them a sales pitch every time.
Right.
And they are not going to try to, give you their 12-step program all the time.
Yeah, we need a 12-step from the 12-step program to get off those 12-step programs.
Yeah.
And so I know you've set lots of appointments and made some friends. I looked,
I have.
so you hosted an art show here last week, I guess, and you had a room full of people, and I looked in, and
did.
it was jammed, and everybody was having a good time. How did that end up going for you?
It was awesome.
So what
it's
do
not
you
fun.
call that show when you get a bunch of people together and you teach them to paint a picture?
I call it a paint party. So yeah, it's just I teach people how to do an image, and we have a lot of fun doing it. So
Now, was there any commonality in this group? I know they were mostly Bong members, but it was just an event that you put on and just for fun,
it was also a collaboration I did with Elevate Coworking,
right?
which is
Yeah,
here.
here, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And then a photographer.
Was that Jamie Dye?
Yep,
Yeah,
Jamie
Jamie's
Dye.
awesome, man.
Yeah,
We
she's
love having her.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool. And so, is that the kind of thing that you do? I mean, I looked at that and I was like, man, back when my corporation was much larger, that would have been a fun thing for a company to like. I don't know the right word, but to rent, like to
Yeah.
host what
I guess host or
to
yeah,
host a
do like
paint
a.
party
Mhm.
at their office, and you're open to other like companies and people having event. You
Yeah.
guys really had a great time in there, so
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
don't get jealous very often. Well, so for those that are just meeting Camry for the first time, she is an artist and she holds paint parties and things of that nature. And I've always there was one man. I love people who can draw and sing and dance, and they're just different kind. Because I am none of those, and I had an experience in the 8th grade where I lied to a girl about being an artist.
Oh no.
This is a true story, and I don't even want to say her name because Michelle Dalton will get. Oh man, that was her name. My bad. But anyway, I took a picture from a friend of mine who was an artist and just erased his name at the bottom and put mine and rode my bicycle to her house and gave it to her. I'm like, yeah, I drew this for you, just kind of nothing, just hanging out.
That takes some guts.
That's what I had to work with, and so as the story goes, that it didn't work. But I have always had great admiration for people who can draw. Like I don't. Could you always draw? Was it just with you?
I actually didn't think I could for a really, really long time. That's part of what I am passionate about is just letting people know that they can. Because for a really long time, I didn't believe that I could.
I mean, it seems like it's a gift. And my question for you, and I was so excited that you were coming in today, is can that gift be developed from zero?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I would say so.
Okay. Well, there's no hope for me, so I must be below zero. Well, so did you always did you always want to be an artist?
Not always. Like growing up, I remember feeling like artists were going to be starving. So that was one
Right.
of the things that I guess I was a very realistic child. I always just thought, oh, I'm going to grow up and work in an office and have a very serious job. And like, you know, and then I grew up and I tried to do that and I was miserable. And there's like a long path I took to get to where I am to be an artist. But yeah,
So you followed the more traditional path earlier in life?
I did.
I
Yeah,
mean, so you actually went to work in an office?
I did.
Wow. Okay. So I love to hear these stories of transition and triumph because there's some other T's in them. Terrible.
Hmm.
I mean, there's some. It is to go from one to the other. I really want to hear the story about
Transition
transition. I don't. That's kind of a neutral phrase.
from one to the other. I
Yeah.
was trying to jump on the train
I
there.
was doing the T thing.
Starts with a T.
Yeah. I was trying because I had time, but no talent.
Moving on.
I don't appear to be. I want to hear the story of you from office business person to artist business person
Yeah.
because that like how do you go from one to the other? I can't even imagine. I have
Yeah.
friends who are great artists and it's just this it looks like this gifting and their thoughts are different and but I mean walk me through when you realized you were going to do art as a business.
Well, okay, so I've always like secretly tried to do it just in more like serious ways. So I have my degree is in interior design. So that's art, but it's like more streamlined, serious, not a lot of like, free thinking necessarily. So that was my office environment and I I ran into a lot of like toxic work situations and just overarching um, things in the office that just made me miserable. And I was not a happy person. And so I stopped doing that and took a break, and then I did personal training for a while. I just like flip-flopped.
Oh, wow.
Um,
You were
and
doing the training. Okay.
yeah, I was a personal trainer for a while, and just got kind of burnt out and didn't really feel like that was what I wanted to do forever. Um, and I was really frustrated, and I stopped doing that. But during the during the pandemic, I found this artist that was doing like a mentorship program, and that was when I really started to realize that, oh, like I can do this for a living and not, live in a box.
Right. Yeah, living
So
in a refrigerator box on the
yeah,
sidewalk is not all that they crack it up to be.
yeah.
Very cool. So, did you say you started during the pandemic? Is that when you began to accelerate this dream?
That's when I really started to believe that it was possible, that it was
Right.
something that I could do, um, for real.
So during we get a lot of stories, Kenneth, like during the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, and we hear a lot about, hey, this is when it happened for me. And I think there's a curiosity about that time in American history when people were sort of disconnected from the grid. Tell us what during the pandemic, what's that like for you? And you're accelerating this new business.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the pandemic, at least what it did for me, I think what it did for a lot of people though too, is it just kind of made us stop and think, and we had time to like think about, what am I doing? Do I want to be doing what I'm doing, and am I happy?
Right.
Um, and I think that I wouldn't have done that otherwise. I would have
You would
just
have just kept
pushed
going.
on and been miserable.
Now, were you married at this point?
I was,
Okay.
yeah.
How long have you guys been married?
We're going on 8 years.
Oh, in a row.
So
That's good.
I know, right?
Wow. Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. We hear some weird stories here at the podcast. So,
On again,
um,
off again.
on again, off again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you had a mentor.
I did.
Now, this is always a cool story. Does your mentor know how well you're doing now?
Probably not.
W- w-
So,
was it a
okay.
tour mentor or a mentor?
No, it was a great mentor.
Okay.
Like yeah, wonderful. But it was through like an online program that he
Oh,
did. So it
okay.
was kind of a big overarching thing that he did, or he still does, with like thousands of artists
Oh my
online.
gosh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I did meet him. That was really cool.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Man, I hope that you'll send him a link for this podcast.
Yeah,
So
actually,
that
that's a great idea.
would you like to shout out their name? Are you allowed to do that?
I mean, I think so.
Let's do that. Let's say thank
Yeah.
you to somebody specific.
Yeah, Matt, Tommy, that what you have done for just what I can do, what I believe that I can do, has been amazing and transformative. So
Very
thank you.
cool. Thank you, Matt. I don't know you, but yeah,
There it is.
there you go, man. The studio audience is going wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so my first influence in art was to impress a girl, and I failed miserably. And that's when my art career ended officially. I told the people at the art world, like, I'm out. I'm not. Just take me off the rolls. I'm not paying any more dues.
They had to cancel your interviews,
Canceled my interviews.
Yeah.
Canceled all the shows that I was gonna do.
podcasts.
Everything was canceled till today.
Hmm.
Yeah, today's my comeback show. So what inspires you to do art? Like, how do you decide what to paint?
Yeah.
Like, you're not one of those that you just paint a bowl of flowers and like, there's another bowl of flowers. Or
Right.
I mean, my favorite was like 4 dogs playing poker. Have you seen that
That's
one?
a good one.
I mean, like
That is a good
that
one.
guy probably. I think that guy got rich.
Possibly.
4 guys playing poker. I'd like to meet that guy.
Yeah. I forget who did that one, but yeah.
It's like Billionaire was his name.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
First name Bill.
Billionaire. Yeah.
Yeah. Last
Yeah,
name.
very cool.
Yunier. Yeah.
Yeah, I even thought that same thing. I could have done that same piece of art. All right, let's get back to you, our guest, and I will stop the interior babbling. So, how do you get influence? Like, what do you like to draw? Where do you pull
Yeah.
all these things from?
A lot of it comes from my spiritual walk. And I'm really inspired by just like life in general, the things that we go through in life. I've been through a lot of just hurt around, what I want to do and what I'm doing with my life and who I am. And so that has really gone into my art in terms of like, I paint a lot of human hearts, like anatomical ones, and I kind of stumbled on that on accident.
That was your first painting, was of a human heart, I
It
recall you saying.
was, yeah, it was like my first official like painting, and it was a really hard one because I was still kind of in that I don't know what I'm doing and I can't paint phase, and I just started it because I really believe that God had told me to paint, but I was just like I don't know what I'm doing, and so I just started doing it, and that's yeah that first one, that's what came out of it.
So why the human heart? That is interesting to me.
Yeah. First of all, I think it's kind of jarring. Like people are like, "Why are you painting the inside of, a human body?" But I love the symbolism that it has.
Right.
To me, I mean, even in scripture, you see like the heart throughout it, and it has so much symbolism and meaning. And I feel like pretty much whatever I paint that is the human heart, it will have a deeper meaning to it.
As a
Um,
man thinketh in his heart. That's
so is he.
one of my favorites. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a Veggie Tales Christian, so I
me
can't quote
too.
that's like I don't know where that's from. But if you say it emphatically, Proverbs 22:16 says
Right.
nobody will look it up and check it because you're so emphatic.
That's true.
But
And confident.
I have I'm actually have studied the human heart a little bit
Really?
and find it fascinating. And there's a book called The Heart Math Solution, and I'm one of the 3 readers in the world who
What?
bought that book, and
That's
it
so
was
cool.
yeah, it's a science book, and it was fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to shut up about that because very very different kind of book. Okay, so you have an art business.
hmm
We don't get that very often. We have a networking group of 5,500 people, and depending on the kind of art, like if you count, all the different categories, I think we have one in our group that
Mm.
sells art, and I think that would be you. We don't have that many. So what I mean, what do you want to do with it? Where do you see this going for you?
Yeah.
What's the goal?
So I mean I sell my art, but I also do like the paint parties like we were talking about.
Right.
And one thing that I really want to do with that is to just teach people that they can create. Because I started in a place where I didn't think I could, even though like there was evidence all over my life that I could, but
Right.
I think a lot of people get stuck in being afraid to create and put themselves out there and like show people what they want to do in their heart. And I know that sounds like really cliche, but I just really want to show people that they can do that.
Wow. That so okay, so like when I watched The Room the other night, and every it would be like Michael Jordan shooting free throws with me. Like I get to go with somebody who's been up the totem pole. I mean, what a beautiful thing it is that you're able to show average, ordinary, amazing people how to do something that they just don't think they can do. I bet there's a lot of like gratification for you.
It's definitely really cool. Like the paint parties that I have done, I always have somebody who's like, I don't know if I can do this. Like I'm so nervous. I don't have a creative bone in my body, and I know from experience now. I'm like, yeah, you can. You can do this. You got this.
Yeah,
Like,
I may be the one where you've met your match. It is bad. I'll show you some of my art later. Um, okay, so let's be a little businessy if
all
we
right.
can and talk about. Well, we can call it a dream, and we can go back into the artist style world. But what's your biggest dream or your biggest goal? And is your art even in that dream and goal?
Yeah. So I want to open up a studio. And I want it to be a large space where I can host other artists to have their own studio space, but also have a large sort of event center type space where they can rent it out and teach classes and bring the community in, just to kind of have art be more normal. I feel like I one dream of mine is to do an artist residence,
Ooh, tell us about
um,
that.
which is, do you know what an artist residence is?
I missed that day of school where they discussed that, so I apologize. We played hooky. We're playing
Yeah.
video games that day.
That's right. Atari or something.
Yeah.
Well, there's all kinds of them, but basically what it is it's taking an artist in and allowing them space, time, and money to do the thing that they want to do, whether that be through like travel. Some of them you travel to a place and you house them and you allow them time to explore. But what I want to do with my studio is have at least one artist in residence at a time, whether it's for a month, 3 months, 6 months, to come in and have
idea.
a studio space and be able to explore.
So it would be free to them, and that's where they can come in,
Yeah.
almost like an incubator for some of these business deals where they could come in and learn more about their art themselves.
Yeah.
Does that idea that you have a business component where you teach people the business of art?
I actually hadn't thought about it that far. So probably, I definitely know that I would want one of the parameters to be that they teach a class like once a month for however many months they're there so that they can get experience showing other people, how to do things or even explore different things that they want to teach. And then there'll probably be like an exhibition in there as well.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. There's probably a reason you and I
I like
didn't
it.
think about that. All right.
Boom.
So before we go on, we're going to hear a word from our advertisers and our sponsors here at Cashflows. So, Mr. Kenneth, take it away, sir.
Of course. Listening to our featured sponsor today, sorry, I'm tongue-tied there, Elevate Collaborations is the wonderful place where we're at today. It's a place where people matter and business works. It's an inclusive and hassle-free solution for your productivity. Elevate Coworking offers private offices, private desk, flex memberships, virtual offices, and more, of course, including the podcast studio that you are seeing right now and hearing right now. So come check it out.
Do you guys have a band in there? I heard music in the background. You have a house band?
Yeah. It's very small. It's a tiny orchestra.
Very cool.
Yeah,
All
just
right.
built right into the button right here on the board.
Got it. Well, man, I love Elevate Coworking. This is where I host my office, and the B.O.N.G corporate offices are here, and we have meetings here all the time. And Lori Zeller has become a great friend to so many of us. So thank you for shouting them out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, our guest here today is Camri Landkamer. Camri's an artist here in Tulsa. She's married for 8 years and loves to talk about art. And so before we talk about art again, tell us something about you that our listeners would be surprised to know.
I have been skydiving.
Ooh, have you really?
Yeah.
Have you been skydiving, Kenneth?
No.
You're not going to jump out of a perfectly good plane?
But I imagine this is what it sounds like as you're falling.
Yeah, I think there's some body function noises just as you jump out the plane, too.
Oh, that's possible.
Yeah. I mean, so was it a wild hair? Something you always wanted to do?
It's something I've always wanted to do, but it was also something that I kind of never thought I would actually do. It was kind of more of a like, I want to do this, and I said it when I wanted to sound cool. And my mother-in-law one day was like, "Hey, do you guys want to go skydiving?" And I was like, like, I don't know if I actually want to do this. And it kind of made me rethink, like, do I want to do this? And so we scheduled it, and I did it, and I don't regret it. It was
So
it was
between
awesome.
between the day you did schedule it and the day you did it, how long did you have?
Probably like a week.
And was that week tough for you?
Not really. Once I decided to do it, it was like, okay, I'm going to do this, and that's it. Like, we're just going to do it. And so, yeah.
Man, one of the greatest dreams, like literal when you're sleeping dreams, is to be able to fly. And I dream about it all the time.
I do
But
too.
I don't know that I land in those dreams. I'm just kind of zipping around. And like, how were you with somebody?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you didn't just leap out of a plane.
No, it was a
Okay.
tandem. Yeah.
Right. And
So.
are you going to do it again?
I would do it again.
How many
Yeah.
tandems before you get to do it on your own?
I feel like it's maybe like 9. I think they make
Oh.
you do quite a few
Right.
before you and I think it has to do with like hours too. There's like a whole accreditation thing before you are able to do it on your own.
So I hate to fly. I don't hate to fly. How are you on flying? Do you like to fly?
I'm good with flying. It's the hard stop at the end.
It's the crashing part
That's the
that,
that's the difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to
I
fly
prefer to
like
stay flying.
I flew like 32 times in 1 month.
Wow.
And so my way to get through all of that fear was to go online and listen to airplane crashes.
What?
Yeah,
Wow.
no, I know. So what did you do during that week where you're leading up to jumping out of a perfectly good airplane?
Right. Uh, Honestly, I was just excited for it. Like, I don't remember doing any sort of like crazy prep work or anything. It was just kind of like, okay, we're gonna do it. Like, here we go.
Yeah, people say crazy stuff. They're like, "Oh, Cash," when it's especially when flying. Like
Right.
people, "Oh, it's your time to go. It's your time to go." Like, man, I don't know about that because if it's the pilot's time to go, then it's also my time to go.
That's right.
And I don't know if I really can stand
Well,
behind that.
But while you have the parachute strapped on, that's actually it didn't have to be your time. You can just
Maybe
jump.
you could do like
It would be a shorter
maybe you
jump.
could fly in an airplane, keep a parachute. Nah, never mind. I'm not going to go there.
That's too much.
Yeah, but
We
she
could do a
actually,
skydiving podcast. We can just record it while we're descending in a
yeah,
controlled fashion.
yeah. I'm going to make vomiting sounds right now. Sorry, not going to do that. I'm sure that violates a rule. Okay, so tell us, Camri, right this minute, what are you learning?
I am learning how to take little steps every
Ooh,
day.
okay.
And to do it afraid. I'm doing a lot of things today that I never thought I would be, just simply because they sounded scary. And I've kind of gone from feeling fear, like I do feel fear, but it's sort of more in an exhilarating, like exciting type of feeling. Like it's still scary, but I'm learning that as long as I am doing my best and trusting God and just stepping forward, that things will turn out good. So
Well, I like to apply memes. I'm a big fan of the memes. Inch by inch, it's a cinch,
there you
but it's hard by the yard.
go.
Can you put that on the webpage? Hard by the yard, cinch by the inch.
We may be able to do that.
Yeah, somebody's gonna. How are you on New Year's goals? Let's just diverge right here.
Ooh.
Like we're about to enter a time where 11 million people a minute like this is my year,
Mhm.
2024, like never before.
Well, okay, so I have a few goals. I applied for my own residency. I will find out in March if I got it, so we'll
Wow.
see.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's in Japan, so.
Okay, I'm guessing you haven't told your husband.
Oh, I totally
Oh,
have.
you okay?
I totally
you
have.
told-
He's
oh,
yeah.
oh, okay.
He's like, yeah, do it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Man, I hate interviewing all these great people. What are you doing? I'm going to Japan. I'm saving the world.
Right.
And like, what are you doing, Cash? Gotta clean the garage this weekend. Thanks, Camry. I appreciate that. Okay, we're gonna wrap our show up here with you. We always like to have our guests give us like a nugget of gold, something to live by, build by, repair by, go by, building relationships or business. What do you got for us?
I mean, I'd go back to what I'm learning right now is just take it a step at a time. Allow yourself to dream. I know that sounds cliche, but just allow yourself to believe that you can do the thing that you want to do. Because if that's what you want to do, it's what you were created to do.
That was a beautiful thing when you said allow yourself to dream. And I think a lot of people miss that and they get into that mode where maybe they think they're not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
And allowing yourself to dream, to have a few minutes on a daily basis. And that's something I try to do on a daily basis is take 5 or 10 minutes and just imagine. You know, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
God gave us these imaginations and this ability to wonder and think and plan and develop. I mean, God gave us all of these things, this beautiful imagination, but it's just hard to imagine that He would give us all of those things, but then not give us the ability to achieve it
Yeah.
in a reasonable way.
Yeah.
And so I've always been that kid that just you can dream anything, and it doesn't cost anything to have a big dream. And but it might cost you everything not to.
Right.
So, man, that is great advice. We'll make sure that we share that with the world. Our guest today, Camri Landkamer, artist here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She'd like to get to know you, and thank you, Camri, for being here. Let me wrap us up as we get out of here, sir. If we can do that.
I brought a thing. Is
What do
that
you
okay?
got? Talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh, the thing.
What's the thing?
So I found this and it just reminded me of you. It's for like your whole family. but it really reminded me of something that you say a lot. So there
no.
you go.
Bum, bum, bum.
Are you filming this?
I don't have a drum roll going on, but so
Oh,
just
man.
imagine.
Okay,
Use your
okay.
imagination
Please
here.
imagine a drum roll from the drum cadet.
Do, 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 do.
Oh, no.
Oh, my word. Yes.
Cool story, bro.
Yes, that's
Oh,
cool.
my gosh.
So this is I don't know if you guys like games. Hopefully you do, but this one is hilarious.
Oh, it's even punctuated well because punctuation saves lives.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Let's eat, Grandma. Let's eat, Grandma. Camri, thank you so much for this wonderful gift.
You're welcome.
And I will use this to the max, I promise you.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it.
So this just has all the words and you can put them on your fridge and all that?
Well, it's a game.
Right.
So it's kind of like apples to apples. It's got prompts and you make funny answers with your
I'd like to invite you over to the Matthews household Friday night, 7 to 12:30. We're going to be playing Cool Story Bro.
Yeah, it depends on when you listen to the podcast on exactly which Friday night. So
that's a
mystery.
That's for Valentine's Day. Is there anything else in there? Chocolate or anything?
That's
it. Okay. All right, let's wrap it up and get out of here. That's our
Cool.
man. We are excited about Cashflows. I don't know what number this is, but we're glad that you've joined us today. We hope that you will recommend this to your friends, family, neighbors, doctors, plumbers, and the rest of the world out there in the entrepreneurial world. And we want to thank our team here today. Camri, thank you for being here. You were just wonderful.
Thanks for having
Kenneth
me.
Bauckham, photography here, running the boards. Lori Zeller, owning the building. And Clarence Shaw, CM Customs. Man, we're glad you guys are here. And if you want to reach out and find us, we're on Facebook. And you still have your MySpace page?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's
shut
gone.
down.
So don't look for us on MySpace. We're not there. So until our next show, you all make good choices. Be nice to each other. Love one another. Make this the best day ever. And to our 4 listeners down there in Salisaw, Henrietta, Wagoner, Bowlegs, we want to say thank you. And to the 3 of you who like our posts on a daily basis, hey, y'all want anything from Quick Trip?
That's our show for today. Stay tuned for another riveting edition of Cash Flows.